Hi, welcome to Lansdale Catholic. So, how many years have you been taking Latin?
I've been taking Latin for 4 years.
And when you first came to LC, why did you decide to take it?
I originally took Latin to help me with English more because I would learn a lot of root words from Latin.
How else has Latin been beneficial to you in your everyday life?
Latin's been really beneficial this year because it helps on the SATs with the vocab section because there's a lot of big words that you've never seen before, but if you can recognize some root words in them that you learned from Latin, you can break them down and figure out the meaning easier.
Do you find that Latin is a difficult language to learn?
I don't really think it's any more difficult than any language. I think the thing is that Latin is a dead language now, and the way they learn it is kind of like English, how our language is also called like one of the most difficult to learn because we have so many like rules and exceptions and everything, but it hasn't been that difficult. I think we learn at a little bit of a slower pace because of the larger content.
What else do you learn about in class besides just the language?
We learn a lot about the ancient Roman culture, which is actually really interesting and important. And we also learn some mythology too, but a lot of people don't know that like the government and everything, like in our country today, a lot of examples we take from the way that the Roman Empire was run. So,
do you have any helpful study tips that you use to study for Latin?
I always study with index card just because a lot of my tests are vocab based, and it's easier to be able to see the word and definition on an opposite side. And I can also study throughout the day easier, and I don't have to carry around a big textbook with me.
How does your teacher help you and the other students to learn Latin?
Well, Miss Y really always makes sure that we understand a lesson before we move on, and she'll always make sure we take time to answer questions. And we do a lot of different types of learning. So we'll go through our textbook, and then we'll use our workbook and everything. So, anyway.
How do you plan on using your Latin education in the future?
Maybe one day I'd like to learn another language, and I think that I'd probably have an easier time because Latin is sort of the basis of a lot of languages. So a lot of the vocab words, like even if you see them in like Spanish and Italian stuff, you can recognize they look really similar to Latin words that have really similar meanings.
All right, well, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
So how long have you been taking Spanish?
This is my third year taking Spanish.
So how has Spanish helped you in your life so far?
Now that I know some Spanish, it's a lot easier to understand what people are saying sometimes if you're like in a part of the country where Spanish is a common language. It takes care of like the language barrier between you and other people.
Okay. How do you plan on using Spanish in your future?
I plan on continuing to study Spanish in college, and also being bilingual is a very good advantage to have when you're looking for a job and to get certain jobs.
What do you do throughout your Spanish class?
In our Spanish class, we talk with the other students in Spanish. we write in Spanish, and we study our vocabulary.
What study methods do you use to help you learn Spanish?
If I'm studying vocab, I usually use flashcards because it's a really good visual tool to see like the word and then the definition. But if I'm studying like grammar and things like that, I usually study by like talking to my friends in Spanish, and we study together like that.
What else do you learn about besides the Spanish language?
We learn a lot about like the culture of Spanish-speaking countries, like their holidays and like just their everyday life and like how they do things in places like Mexico and Spain.
Hey, so I've got Vanessa Trotter here, and she's going to answer some questions about what language she takes. So Vanessa, what language do you take?
I took Mandarin Chinese.
Okay, why did you choose to take that?
Well, I took Spanish for 2 years, and then they started offering Chinese, so I thought it'd be different and fun, so I was like, I'll go for it.
So you've been taking it for 2 years now?
Yes.
Wow, that's great. So like, what do you plan on doing with it in the future?
Well, Chinese is the #1 most spoken language in the world, so it would help me get into colleges and a job. And if I traveled to China, I could use it there.
Wow, thanks for letting us interview you. Have a great day.
You're welcome.
Hi, I'm here with Mary-Kate McGuire, and she's going to tell me a little stuff about her language. So, Mary-Kate, what language do you take?
I'm in French 3.
And why did you choose to take French?
I chose to take French because I was fascinated by the culture in the country, and a lot of my friends took it too.
So, what is your favorite thing about taking French?
My favorite thing is probably my friends are in that class, so we all help each other study, and we have a lot of fun.
Nice. What do you plan on doing with French in the future?
Eventually I would like to get to Paris and visit, so if I have a little bit of background on the culture and language, it would be very helpful.
Yes. All right. Well, thanks for letting me talk to
Problem.
you.